My girlfriend told the waiter, please split the bill. We're not really together. He paused, waiting for me. I nodded once. Sure, I didn't argue, I didn't react. I just did one quiet thing before leaving the restaurant. And that's when everything stopped. I'm 34, been dating my girlfriend for 2.5 years. We met through mutual friends at a birthday party, started seeing each other regularly, and eventually fell into what I thought was a committed relationship. She worked in digital marketing, I'm in software development. We weren't living together but spent most weekends at each other's places, talked about moving in together soon. The usual progression. Last Friday night, we went to this upscale Italian place downtown. My choice. I've been wanting to try it for months, finally got a reservation. We'd had a decent week, nothing particularly wrong between us. She seemed normal when I picked her up, chatting about work, about a project she was excited about. Standard date night energy. We ordered appetizers in trace, a bottle of wine. The conversation was fine at first. We talked about weekend plans, about a concert she wanted tickets for next month. Then somewhere around the main course her tone shifted, got a little distant. She kept checking her phone, which wasn't unusual but felt more frequent than normal. Everything okay? I asked, setting down my fork. Yeah, fine, just work stuff on a Friday night. You know how it is, campaigns don't stop for weekends. I let it go, figured she was stressed. We finished our entrees in relative quiet, more silence than conversation. The waiter came by to clear plates and asked if we wanted dessert or just the check. Just the check, please, she said before I could respond. The waiter nodded, disappeared. I sipped my wine, watching her scroll through her phone. 5 minutes later, he returned with the leather bill fold, set up between us on the table. She reached for it immediately, opened it, looked at the total. Then she looked up at the water. The waiter and said clear as day, please split the bill, we're not really together. The waiter's eyes flicked to me, confusion crossing his face. He was young, maybe 23, clearly uncomfortable. The entire restaurant didn't hear it, but our table went dead silent. I could feel heat rising up my neck, but I kept my face completely neutral. The waiter waited, pin hovering over his pad. Sir, I nodded once. Sure, split it. She handed him her card without looking at me. I pulled out mine, placed it in the bill fold. The waiter took both, practically fled the table. I sat there, hands folded, watching her avoid my eyes. We're not really together. I repeated, voice low and even. That's interesting phrasing. I meant we're not together financially. We split things. I didn't mean it like. Yes, you did. You said it exactly how you meant it. She finally looked at me. Can we not do this here? Do what? React to my girlfriend publicly announcing we're not actually in a relationship. You're making a scene. I'm sitting here calmly. You're the one who made the scene. The waiter returned with 2 receipts, 2 pens. We signed separately. I added a 20% tip. He didn't deserve to suffer for our mess. She tipped 15 like she always did. We stood up and I followed her out of the restaurant. On the sidewalk, she turned to me. Are you going to drive me home or are you going to pout all night? I'm going to drive you home, but we're going to talk. Fine, let's talk in the car. We got in. I started the engine but didn't put it in gear, just sat there in the parking space. What was that? I asked. What was what? Don't play dumb. You told a complete stranger we're not together in public, in front of me. I told him to split the bill. You could have said separate checks or split it down the middle or literally anything except what you said. But you chose we're not really together. She exhaled sharply. Fine, you want to know the truth? I've been thinking about this for a while, whether this is actually working. My hands tightened on the steering wheel, and you decided to announce that to a waiter instead of talking to me. It just came out. I've been feeling disconnected lately, like we're going through the motions, so instead of communicating that you humiliate me in a restaurant, it wasn't meant to humiliate you. Then what was it meant to do? She didn't answer. I pulled out of the parking space, drove toward her apartment in silence. The 15-minute drive felt like an hour when I pulled up to her building. She reached for the door handle. I think we need some space, she said. To figure out what we want, I know what I want. I want a partner who doesn't announce to strangers that we're not together. Apparently that's too much to ask. You're being dramatic. I'm being honest. There's a difference. She got out, closed the door firmly. I watched her walk into her building, then drove home, sat in my car in my own parking lot for 20 minutes, replaying the whole night, the way she said it. The tone. The casualness of it. When I finally went inside my apartment, I did one quiet thing. I opened my laptop, went to my phone carrier's website, and removed her from my family plan. We've been sharing it for over a year, saved us both money, made sense as a couple. I switched her line back to an individual account under her name. She'd get a notification in the morning that her service had changed. No confrontation, no drama. Just a practical response to not being really together. Then I went to bed. Update 1, Saturday morning. My phone started ringing around 9. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. I let it ring. Third time I answered. What did you do? Her voice was sharp. Good morning to you too. My phone service changed. I got a notification saying I'm on my own plan now. Yeah, we're not really together. So I figured we shouldn't share a phone plan. Are you serious right now? Completely. You made it clear last night where we stand. I'm just adjusting accordingly. I didn't mean this as petty, it's practical. Why would two people who aren't really together share a phone plan? Doesn't make sense. You're doing this to punish me. I'm doing this because you announced to a stranger that we're not in a relationship. I'm taking you at your word. I said I needed space. You said we're not really together. I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. She hung up. I made coffee, went for a run, tried to clear my head. My phone kept buzzing with texts from her. Started with anger, shifted to justification, ended with something close to panic. You're overreacting. I was just stressed last night. Can we please talk about this like adults? I responded once. We can talk when you're ready to explain what you meant by not really together. Until then, we're not really together. The text stopped after that. Sunday, she showed up at my apartment. I heard the knock, checked the peephole, saw her standing there with coffee and pastries from the bakery I liked. I opened the door but didn't invite her in, peace offering. She said, holding up the bag, I'm listening. Can I come in? I'm fine talking here. She lowered the bag. You're really going to make this difficult. You made it difficult Friday night. I'm just following through. I made a mistake. I was stressed about work, about us, about everything. It came out wrong. It came out exactly how you felt. That's what happens when people are stressed. They say what they're actually thinking. I don't want to break up over this. Who said anything about breaking up? We're just not really together, remember? Stop throwing that in my face. Why? You said it in front of a waiter in front of me in a public restaurant. Now you're upset. I'm repeating your own words. I apologized. No, you didn't. You showed up with coffee and pastries and said it came out wrong. That's not an apology. That's damage control. She set the bag down on my doorstep. What do you want from me? I want to understand what you meant. Why you said it. Why that was your instinct in that moment, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we're roommates who sleep together, not actual partners. You're always working. I'm always working. We see each other on weekends and call it a relationship. So you've been feeling this way for a while, yes. And Friday night it just came out in the worst possible way. I know, I'm sorry. Really. There it was. An actual apology. But it didn't change what happened. Didn't change the fact that she'd felt that way for who knows how long and never mentioned it until she was embarrassed about a restaurant bill. I need time to think about this, I said. How much time? However long it takes. She picked up the bag, turned to leave, then stopped. Are you seeing anyone else? What? Are you talking to someone else? Is that why you're being so cold? I'm being cold because my girlfriend told a stranger we're not together. There's no one else. There's barely an us right now. She left. I closed the door, looked at the coffee and pastries she'd left on my doorstep, picked them up, brought them inside, didn't eat them. Just sat there thinking about the last 2.5 years. Update 2. Monday at work. I couldn't focus. Kept replaying that dinner, the way she said it. The waiter's face. My own delayed reaction. I should have said something right then, should have walked out. Instead, I sat there like an idiot, paid half a bill for a meal I didn't even enjoy. Around lunch, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello. Hi. Is this the voice? Hesitated. This is going to sound weird, but I was your waiter Friday night at the Italian place. My stomach dropped. Okay. I found your receipt in my section. You left your number on the tip line for the reservation system. I'm calling because, look, this is unprofessional, but I felt terrible about what happened. The way she said that, I could see it messed you up. I'm fine. I'm sure you are, but I wanted to tell you something. She came back Saturday. With a different guy, they sat at my table again. The floor felt unsteady. What? Yeah. I thought you should know. They seemed familiar, like they'd been there before. Ordered the same wine you guys had. She was laughing, touchy. I don't know your situation, but it seemed wrong not to tell you. Did she see you, recognize you? Oh yeah, she definitely recognized me. Looked uncomfortable for about 5 seconds. Then acted like Friday never happened. Left a big tip, probably trying to buy my silence. Thanks for telling me. No problem, sorry man, that's rough. He hung up. I sat in my car in the parking garage, hands shaking. Saturday, less than 24 hours after telling me we weren't really together, she was at the same restaurant with someone else. I called her straight to voicemail, tried again, voicemail, sent a text. We need to talk. Now no response. I finished my workday on autopilot, drove to her apartment. Her car was there. I buzzed her unit. No answer. Buzzed again. Nothing. I called her from the lobby. She answered, "What? I'm downstairs. Buzz me up. I'm busy. Buzz me up or I'm buzzing every unit until someone lets me in." 30 seconds later, the door clicked. I took the elevator to her floor, walked down the hall. Her door was already open. She stood there in yoga pants and a sweatshirt, arms crossed. "What's so urgent? You were at the restaurant Saturday with someone else." Her face went pale. "Who told you that?" "Doesn't matter. Is it true? It's not what you think. Then what is it?" "He's a coworker. We had a work lunch that ran late, at 8 p.m. on a Saturday, ordering wine and getting cozy. You're having me followed now. The waiter called me. He thought I should know." She laughed, but it sounded forced. "The waiter called you? That's insane. That's harassment. Stop deflecting. Who is he?" "I told you." "A coworker, the one you've been texting all the time. The work stuff you were checking during our dinner." She didn't answer. "Confirmation enough." "How long?" I asked. "Nothing happened." "How long have you been seeing him?" "I'm not seeing him. We're friends. We work together." "Friends don't go to romantic restaurants on Saturday nights. Friends don't order wine and get touchy. Friends don't make their boyfriends split bills so they can pretend they're single." "You're twisting this. I'm stating facts. You said we're not really together. Less than 24 hours later, you're on a date with someone else, at the same place drinking the same wine. Were you planning to tell me? Or were you just going to keep needing space until I figured it out?" She wiped her eyes. "Here's now, of course. I didn't plan any of this. Things just happened. Things don't just happen. You made choices. You chose to get close to this guy. You chose to humiliate me Friday. You chose to see him Saturday. All choices. What do you want me to say? I want you to admit what you're doing. Stop pretending this is about needing space or feeling disconnected. You found someone else. Just say it." She looked at me for a long moment. "Fine. Yes, I've been talking to him. We've gotten close. I didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. And Friday night I realized I couldn't keep pretending with you." "Pretending what?" "That I still wanted this, that I still wanted us." There it was, the truth, finally. "Then why not just break up with me? Why the public humiliation? Why string me along with 'I need space' and apology coffee?" "Because I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I was just infatuated that it would pass. I didn't want to throw away 2.5 years over a crush, but it's not just a crush anymore." "No, it's not." I nodded slowly. "Okay, thanks for finally being honest." I turned to leave, that's it. She called after me. "You're just leaving? What else is there to say? You made your choice, I'm just accepting it. You're not even going to fight for this." I stopped, turned back. "You told a stranger we're not really together. Then you went on a date with someone else. What exactly am I supposed to fight for?" She didn't answer. I left. Update 3. The next week was brutal. I threw myself into work, avoided mutual friends, didn't answer questions about why we weren't together anymore, just told people it didn't work out. Simple, clean. She texted me a few times, apologies, explanations, requests to talk. I ignored them all, changed the locks on my apartment. She had a key I'd forgotten about, canceled the subscription services we shared, removed her from my emergency contacts. About 2 weeks after the restaurant incident, I got a call from a mutual friend. One of the people from that birthday party where we met. "Hey, I heard about you and her." "I'm sorry, man, thanks. It happens. Listen, I'm calling because I think you should know something. She's been telling people you broke up with her. That you accused her of cheating with no proof and just ended it out of nowhere." "Of course she is." I figured she wasn't telling the whole truth. "What actually happened?" I told him. The restaurant comment, the waiter's call, the confrontation at her apartment. He listened without interrupting. "Wow, I'm sorry, that's manipulative as hell." "Yeah, for what it's worth, a bunch of us have been feeling off about her lately. She's been different, distant. We wondered if something was going on." "Well, now you know. Do you mind if I set the record straight? With our friend group, I don't like her spreading lies about you. Do what you want. I'm not concerned with managing narratives." "Fair enough. Just wanted to ask first." We hung up. I appreciated it, but I still didn't care that much about what she was saying. The people who mattered would believe me. The ones who didn't weren't worth worrying about. 3 weeks post-breakup, she showed up at my apartment again. This time I didn't open the door. "I know you're home," she called through the door. "I can't hear you moving around. Go away, please, just 5 minutes." "No, it didn't work out with him. You were right. It was just infatuation. I made a huge mistake." I opened the door, looked at her through the chain lock, and I want to try again. To do it right this time, there's no right way to do something that's fundamentally wrong. I love you. I know I messed up, but I still love you. You love the idea of having me as backup. That's not the same thing. That's not fair. It's completely fair. You kept me around while you explored something else. When it didn't work out, you came back. That's textbook backup plan behavior. I made a mistake. Can't you forgive that?" "I can forgive it. I'm just not going to forget it or go back to you because of it, so that's it. We're just done. We were done the second you told that waiter we weren't really together. Everything after that was just confirmation. She started crying. I wish I could take it back, me too, but you can't. None of us can take back the things we say in moments of truth. That was your moment of truth. You showed me exactly how you felt. I was wrong, you were honest. That's different, and I appreciate the honesty even if it hurt, because now I know what, that I deserve better than someone who views me as an option, who announces to strangers that we're not together, who lies to mutual friends about why we broke up. I deserve better than all of that. I closed the door, locked it. She knocked a few more times then left. Final update. It's been 4 months now. I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. Started going to the gym regularly. Picked up hobbies I'd abandoned during the relationship. Turns out I have a lot more free time when I'm not trying to decode someone's emotional distance. The mutual friend who called me did set the record straight with our friend group. Most of them reached out, apologized for believing her version. A few took her side, said I should have tried harder to work things out. I let those friendships go, no hard feelings, but if they can't see the manipulation in what she did, we weren't that close to begin with. I heard through the grapevine that she and the co-worker tried to make it work for about 6 weeks before imploding. Apparently, he had commitment issues. Ironic. She moved to a different company after that. Too awkward to keep working with him, I guess. I don't know where she is now and I don't care to find out. The waiter who called me became an unlikely ally. We got coffee once just to talk through what happened. He said he'd never done anything like that before, calling a customer. But something about the situation bothered him. He'd seen the dynamic between her and the other guy, recognized it as more than professional. Felt like I deserved to know. I thanked him for it. Bought him dinner at a different restaurant. We're not friends exactly, but we're friendly. Sometimes the people who show up in crisis moments aren't the ones you expect. I've been on a few dates. Nothing serious yet. Taking my time. Making sure I'm picking someone who actually wants to be with me. Not someone who sees me as a convenient placeholder until something better comes along. People ask me sometimes if I regret how I handled it. The phone plan thing. The distance. The refusal to engage with her attempts to reconcile. I don't. She made her choice in that restaurant. She told a complete stranger we weren't really together and she meant it. Everything that came after was just her trying to walk it back when she realized the grass wasn't greener. But the thing is, you can't unsay things like that. You can't unhumiliate someone. You can apologize, you can explain, you can claim it came out wrong, but deep down everyone knows the truth. The stressed, unguarded version of you is usually the most honest version. She was honest that night and I was smart enough to believe her. The restaurant bill split evenly. The relationship split for good and somewhere in all of that mess. I learned that the quietest response is sometimes the most powerful one. I didn't yell, didn't beg, didn't try to compete with someone else for her attention. I just adjusted my life to match her words. We're not really together, she said it. I made it true. Edit. Some people have asked if the waiter violated any privacy rules by calling me. I looked into it after the fact. He technically shouldn't have had my number. It was in the reservation system, not meant for personal use, but I'm not going to report him for it. He did me a favor even if it hurt to hear. Edit 2. For everyone saying I should have caused a scene at the restaurant or confronted the other guy, I thought about it, but making a spectacle wouldn't have changed anything. She'd still have feelings for someone else. I'd still have been humiliated. The outcome would have been the same. Just messier. Sometimes the dignified exit is the smartest play.